Okay, good evening everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the Laredo Family Sukkah.
Thanks for having us.
Bezrat Hashem, we can make this an annual gathering. L'chaim, l'chaim. Thank you everyone for coming. We'll do a little bit of intros after. Let's get right to it. Shani over here. Shani, say hi to the camera. When we were shaking our lulav and our etrog, right in the middle of us shaking it, Shani comes up to me and says, Rabbi, what are we doing? Like, what's this lemon? Or it's a fancy, expensive looking lemon doing? And what's these 3 different types of plants that we're holding together, that we put all together? We shake it in every direction. We make a whole to-do about it. Sometimes a bigger to-do than the whole sukkah. So what's the whole idea behind these 4 species? That's what we're going to speak about tonight. Okay? We're going to do something really interesting, something maybe a lot of us have not ever done. We're going to take the source in the Torah, and we're going to share tonight 3 different approaches to what they resemble, what the whole point of these 4 species are. We're going to call them the 4 species. We'll explain what each and every one of them are. But let's read what the verse says in the Torah. The Torah says as follows: Ulkachtem lachem, take for yourselves, Bayom Arishon, starting the first day of Sukkot, Pri Etz Hadar, which is this fruit. Pri Etz Hadar, the commentaries learn, besides for being a very beautiful fruit, the more symmetric it is, the more beautiful it is. These symmetric ripples, all of that would be the nicest. Which the fruit and the tree have the same taste. If you take the bark or the branches of an etrog tree, you chew on them, they'll be the same taste, a very similar taste to this fruit. That's what the Talmud learns. This is the first one, yeah.
Are you allowed to put down this?
Great question. Are you allowed to take this off? And this one also. What's this called? A pitom. Very good. So, if the fruit grew without it, so then it's good. But if it grew with it like this one, and then this falls off, then it's no good anymore. Because then it's not complete.
When they pick it?
When they pick it, so this is how it's attached to the ground. It's attached from this side. Here's the stem, and this is how it grows. Okay? That's the first one. The second one is kapot temarim, which are, as we call it, a lulav. Lulav is a type of palm, which, who knows what fruit comes from this tree?
Dates.
Very good. Who said dates? Very good. So, dates, okay? Then, the next one is anaf etz avot, which is referred to as hadassim, which are myrtle. And then arve nachal, which are aravot, which are from a willow tree. So these are the 4 species. And then the Torah says, Usmachtem lifnei Hashem Elokechem. With these, you should rejoice. With the 4 of these, rejoice in front of Hashem all 7 days, the Shivat Yamim. So we just learned the source of this mitzvah. Now we're going to share this evening, as we said, 3 different interpretations to what these exactly relate to. Where's the first one? Okay, the first one's a midrash. This is the most famous one, the one most people talk about. Midrash says that all 4 of these species refer to 4 different types of people, 4 different types of Jews. We'll start with the etrog. The etrog has both taste. Has anyone ever eaten etrog jelly, etrog jam? Okay, it's an interesting flavor, but it does get sweet. Pass it around quickly. Do you smell anything?
I feel like it'd be kind of gross, no? No.
It's kind of like a lemon jam.
It's a citrus.
It's a citrus, exactly. So, an etrog has both, the Midrash says, both taste and smell. Okay? Now, that refers to the taste, we spoke about this. The taste refers to Torah, Jews that have Torah, Jews that learn Torah, like all of us. We learn Torah, whether it's on a daily basis, a weekly basis, but we all have some type of Torah in our lives. And smell refers to the mitzvot. So we all have mitzvot also, right? We put on tefillin, we put on tzitzit, talit, we do the lulav and etrog. So that's what an etrog is: taste and smell, Torah and mitzvot. The hadassim, the myrtle branches, they have only smell, and that means that they have only mitzvot, like referred to Jews who only have mitzvot. The palm tree, the lulav, has only taste because dates have taste. The tree and the dates itself don't really have any smell. And the aravot have no taste, no smell. So no mitzvot and no Torah. 4 types of Jews, the Midrash tells us, and they are all bound together, held together, and shaken together. What we learn from this, amongst many other things, is that the importance of unity is like no other. We need each other. If, let's say, we only had these 3, we didn't have the etrog, or we only had 2 of these in the etrog, we could not fulfill the mitzvah of shaking the lulav and etrog all together. We need all of them together. That means we need all types of Jews. Some Jews which are very far away, some Jews which are very close, some who are very observant, less observant, Torah light, mitzvot light, or very into it, or very away from it. It doesn't matter. All types of Jews, what?
Yeah.
We need all types of Jews to come together, to all be united and rejoice the holiday together, and be in all aspects of our Judaism. We need all types. It's kind of like 5 fingers. You got a taller finger, you got a thicker finger, you got a smaller finger, you got a finger which is perfect for scratching your ear, you got a finger which is perfect for thumbs up to everybody, you got other fingers for maybe a little more vulgar actions, but you couldn't have 5 thumbs. You wouldn't be able to do what you'd need to do. So too with all types of, anyone who has children. Each child is different, each child is special and unique. Even friends, each friend, you wouldn't want 5 Bernards. You need 1 Bernard, 1 Corey, and 1 Nuri. You couldn't have everyone that's the same, right? You can't, that's the whole point. You can't get rid of any of them. You couldn't get rid of a finger. You couldn't get rid of your brother. You couldn't get rid of another Jew. Each and every Jew, we have to appreciate what they're there for, what they bring to our lives, what they bring to the table. That's what the Midrash tells us. Now, what's interesting to notice is that when all of us who've shooken lulav and etrog, we've realized that this one goes in the right hand and this goes in the left hand. According to what we just explained, which one's the tzaddik gamur, the perfect one? The etrog. So we should be holding it like this. Good question? Nice question?
The Torah says Yamina though, right?
No, it says this one's the yamin.
Oh,
the lulav's in the yamin. No, everyone agrees that this one, the Talmud actually tells us that. It's before halacha, it's like early on. Talmud tells us, put the lulav in your right hand and hold the etrog in your left hand. So, why? This should be on the left. So listen to the answer. The answer is from the Khatam, what?
Give strength to your off arm?
Give strength to your off arm, maybe. It's not basketball though, so. You have Moshe?
What if you're lefty to also?
Great question. A lefty. What does a lefty do? Are there any lefties in the room? All right. So that's fine. I'm sure there'll be lefties listening in. Still lefties hold this in the right hand and this one in the left hand. So listen to this beautiful answer the Khatam Sofer gives. Will bin Torah, listen to this. We have over here 3 different types of people representing 3 different types of Jews. Okay? As special as and important the one who is full with Torah and full with mitzvot, we still have 3 versus 1. We have a concept that when there's a multiple amount of people or a group of people which come to beseech, come to speak, come to request, come to talk to God, God can never turn them away. And therefore, their importance in front of God, even though one has nothing and one has only taste and one has only smell, it doesn't matter. That means so much more to God. We hold those 3 in the right hand, our stronger hand, and this in the left hand. And look at what we do. They're tied together. Does everyone see that they're tied?
As one.
As one, exactly. United as one. All Jews should always be united as one. Our power is being united. We know the famous story of a father on his deathbed who had 5 sons and told his children, I need each of you to bring 2 sticks to me. 2 sticks, 2 twigs. What does daddy want us to do? They come. We've all heard the story, right? No? Listen, it's a very, very important story.
One.
And he has all his sons line up by age. And he tells each of them to hold one of their sticks with 2 hands. On 3, break them. 1, 2, 3, boom, they all broke them. Then he gave it to the strongest son. He told, give out all of you, your stick that's not broken, give it to the oldest one. He held all 5 of them, and he, okay, on 3, break it. 1, 2, 3, he couldn't break it. And the father was teaching his children a very important lesson. That if you're each 5 individual sticks, anything will take you down. You're just an individual. But when you're all together, and someone or something's gonna try to break you, shake you up, whatever it is, nothing can break the mass. And that's why we have the 3 in the right hand, and the left hand has the 1. There's something interesting to notice. When I put these together, are they all equal? What's different?
Size?
Besides for the size.
The weight?
Besides for the weight, besides for the shape. These are tied, and this one isn't. So even though I'm putting them together, but why don't I tie this? Why don't I take this and I fit this in? So listen to this. One, let's say like us, and this is a lesson for all of us, no matter how observant or how deep we are or how shallow, it doesn't matter. In life, we have to be very careful with our influence and our surrounding. So the lesson behind them being together is the unity. All different types of Jews, we all need each other. Yet the idea of it not being tied together is the one who has Torah and has mitzvot. Make sure to keep some type of a barrier, some type of a distance, the ability to step away if there is not good influence, if there are things going on which you shouldn't be present for. So all together, but if the ship's going down, well, don't go down with it, seriously speaking. So that's why the tzaddik gamur, the complete, is able to be put together and not together. So that's already a very interesting lesson that we've learned. Right hand, left hand, 4 types of Jews. That I like to say is the most conventional explanation and interpretation for the 4 minim. This evening I want to share with us something the Ben Ish Chai shares with us. The Ben Ish Chai, we've all heard of the Ben Ish Chai? Yeah, very famous, passed away a little over 100 years ago. He was the greatest Sephardic rabbi in his time, from Baghdad, okay? Very inclined towards Kabbalah, towards mysticism as well. And he tells us something different. He speaks about 4 types of people, but he does a completely different twist on it. He says the Talmud says that each of these 4, 2 of them have fruits, 2 of them don't. So we know the etrog definitely has a fruit, and the palm has a fruit. And these 2 don't have any fruits to them. He's doing a different, he's not doing taste and smell versus not, he's doing fruit versus non-fruit. However, the Talmud says the 2 that have fruits need the 2 that don't have fruits. As we said, we need all 4 of them. If you have only 3 or 2 or 1, you can't fulfill the mitzvah. We need everything. He says, look at the name for the etrog and the lulav. Lamed for lulav, aleph for etrog. These type of fruits are very unique and special that they have one source of nutrients which come to the tree. I'm not what's the word? An arborist, right? I'm not a farmer. I'm not a what? Botanist. A botanist, okay? I'm a rabbi. But the nutrients that come to these trees, our sages teach us, come in a single source. So for a etrog, for a lulav. And that's why we take one of them. In a Kabbalistic term, it's called lev echad, one heart. One heart, one source of nutrients to these type of fruits. Lamed and aleph, lamed for lulav, aleph for etrog, are the acronym lev echad, one source. If you take the others, the aravot and the hadas, which have no fruits, that is the acronym, listen to this, ayin and hey, for Am Haaretz, those who are not so learned, not so observant. So we have 2 which fulfill mitzvot and are learned, and 2 which are not. Again, the concept of all types of Jews. But listen to the next part. The next part is very interesting. It says, the lulav is for those who are fulfill Torah, Baalei Torah, and this is for the ones who fulfill mitzvot, a little opposite. That's why the lulav is the tallest, the Ben Ish Chai explains. Talmud Torah, keneged kulam. learning Torah, fulfilling Torah, helping Torah overrides anything. And what's the basic concept? The basic concept is without Torah, we have no right to be a Jewish nation. There's nothing different from us if we don't have our Torah. The land of Israel, okay, so the Americans have United States of America. Every single nationality has their country. But Judaism is not a nationality. Judaism is a religion. And with a religion, we have a set of laws, a set of outlook and a path for us to be the most successful human beings we could possibly be. So therefore, Talmud Torah ke'neged kulam, Talmud Torah is the greatest, it's the tallest of all of them. Now, for the Hadas and the Arava, if you take the Safet Tevot, the last letters, which would be Hey for Arava and Samech for Hadas, is Has. Has means to be silent. An ignorant individual normally doesn't have much to say. So we have 2 and 2. He takes it a step further. He says that the Lulav is considered like to men who fulfill Torah. Men are normally taller than their wives. The Etrog is considered to be like a wife. Right? A wife smells good, so Etrog makes sense. A wife is normally shorter than her husband. What's the proof for that? The Talmud says, if you have something to say to your wife, don't scream it. Bend over and tell it to her in her ear. Alluding to men are normally, in most cases, taller than their wives. Some of us, that might not be the case. Guys, go inside. Okay. What? Now listen to this. The Hadassim are compared to men who don't fulfill mitzvot, and the Aravot compared to women who don't fulfill mitzvot. Now you're going to say, Rabbi, what are you going to do with that one? Look at this. What is a man's obligation? A man's obligation is Torah, Avodah, and Gimilut Chasadim. Learning Torah, prayer, and acts of kindness. So that's 3. We hold 3 Hadassim. 2 Aravot, women, are exempt from one of those. Women are not obligated to learn Torah the way men are. And therefore, they only have 2 that they are not fulfilling. So a man who doesn't fulfill his obligation, there's 3 of them that he's missing. Torah, Avodah, and Gimut Chasadim. A woman, only 2. That's what the Ben Ish Chai. So this is the non-conventional way. So when we come together, we're talking about men and women. Men that fulfill Torah and mitzvot, women that fulfill Torah and mitzvot. And then men that don't, and women that don't. Again, the same concept as we said before, all types of Jews, all together, coming and serving God. We're going to this evening explain another interpretation. And this interpretation is based on a midrash, the Chinuch. The Sefer Chinuch says something very interesting. He says these 4 species look like and resemble 4 different body parts. Have we all heard this? So the etrog resembles a heart. So what does that have to do? I'm holding my heart, I'm shaking my heart. What does that have to do with anything? Sefer Chinuch explains that what we do on Sukkot is we're shaking the lulav and all the 4 minim. And what we're doing is we're shaking it and we are saying we are committing ourselves, all the parts of our body, to serve you, God. So with our heart, what does that mean to commit our heart to God?
Let your heart candle to love Him.
What? To love Him, very good. To not covet or to not desire anything that's against His will. So by taking the etrog, we are alluding to our heart that we are completely dedicating it to God. If we look at the lulav is normally compared to a spine. And what is a spine? Spine is the center of our body. The spine goes one way, the whole body goes that same way. And what we're doing is we're committing our whole body, all of our body, our hands, our legs, our head, everything to God by shaking it and saying we are committing ourselves to you, God. The next is the hadassim. Hadassim are normally compared to eyes. And again, we are giving our eyes to God. We're saying we're going to look at only what we're supposed to look at. We'll read what we're supposed to read. We won't read things that are avodah zarah, idol worship, or things that disprove God, which have no meaning to it anyways. All for God. And then the aravot, which resemble lips. That our mouth will always be to God. We won't say things against God. We won't say vulgar things, lashon hara, disgusting things. We won't speak bad about others. We won't insult others. So by taking these 4, we are taking the leading body parts of our body, and we're saying we are committing them and everything else along to you, God. So now the obvious question is, why now? Why don't Pesach we hold the same 4 types of fruits and vegetables, plants, or any other holiday? Why is it specifically on Sukkot that we do this?
Does it have something to do with Gog and Magog?
Okay, could be. Explain. I didn't think of that, but let's see.
Well, Gog and Magog is essentially the end of the world, right? Countries kind of unite together against Israel, they fight against them, and I guess Mashiach comes or there's some sort of...
Good. I like it.
And it's spoken during...
And we read about it on Sukkot.
So it's kind of this together.
Nice. Very nice. Very good. Yeah?
Doesn't Sukkot symbolize us wandering the desert?
Good.
And doesn't that mean that when you wander, you're not sure where you're going, you're not sure who you are? And there's all types of people as far as Jews coming out of Egypt, and it kind of symbolizes one person has this, one person has that, one doesn't, one does, and it's all of them together as a nation traveling.
I like. New Bernard, you have something? Why now? Why this time of the year?
Sukkah is everyone you have a lot of money, a little bit of money. We're all in Sukkah. There's no.
It's all the same.
Everyone's the same.
So why now?
Here too. This is.
I know, but
all one. There's no.
Also saying it applies to Sukkot more than ever.
It doesn't matter.
Everyone all together. Okay, nice. Anyone else? Anything different? New Ben Torah. Why do we shake Levinesuk by this holiday, not others?
I would say because once you're off the spiritual high of the river, it's real now.
Very good. That's the answer I had in mind. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Very good. So listen to the most commonly explained answer the Baalei Musar give. That Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur were very, very intense, yet very successful days for the Jewish people. Days of repentance, of realization of God, of crowning Him as King over the whole world and ourselves again every year. All of that spiritual height, if we just leave that and go to, let's say, no holiday, imagine there was no Sukkot, then what would we be left with? We need to quickly take all of that inspiration and put that and manifest that in something physical, because we're physical. As spiritual as we'd want to be, we're all physical at the end of the day. We can't escape that aspect of our very being in our creation. And therefore, Chachamim explain that the reason why God gave us the mitzvah of Sukkah, and specifically these 4 species to shake at this time of the year, and to connect to all 4 types of people, or if you want to say 2 types of men, 2 types of women, or the body parts that we have, is because what we're doing is we're manifesting all of that inspiration, that spiritual height that we attained over Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we're making it real. We're making it real. We're coming and unifying ourselves. We're coming in a sukkah, we're leaving our homes, and we're finding happiness and joy with the simplicities of life, rather than all the air conditioning and homes and real furniture. No, plastic chairs, plastic tables, down to earth, bugs flying around, fans blowing in the air. This is, when it rains, yeah, you got to take shelter. This is what really brings us to joy. It's when we get rid of all the physicality and all the materialism. Yeah, we can't live without it. We cannot.
That's why we do a Sukkah?
That's one of the main reasons why we leave our home and we come here for Sukkot. How's that Zman Simchatenu? That's exactly Zman Simchatenu. God protects us equally as in the house, as in the Sukkah. And coming in the Sukkah close with all our friends and all our family makes us realize what life is really all about. Not about materialism, not about physicality, rather about the simple things of life. So much to us flimsy walls and a flimsy ceiling, and bugs and fans and heat and sweat, and that's what life's all about. And that's fine. So right after Yom Kippur, our spiritual height, take it, manifest it physically. Go build yourself a sukkah. Go buy yourself the 4 species. Make a bracha all 7 days. Shake it back and forth 3 times. I wanted to share a personal chidush that I had. I'm sure you'll like it. And before I share with you the Chidush, I want to first explain what we do every morning. We take it, we make the blessing, and we shake it in all directions. Right, left, up, down, all over. And the question is, what are we doing? Just pick it up. What are you doing by shaking it all around? So the Talmud tells us something very interesting. Talmud tells us, shake it in all the directions to stop all the evil spirits from coming. That's a little cryptic, mystical. It's very deep. But aren't we in the holiday? Aren't we in a happy time? What are we now reminding ourselves of? Keeping bad and evil things away from us? So listen to an explanation that I read. Because we're not thinking of stopping bad, we're just thinking of fulfilling the mitzvah. What we're doing with these 4 species is we're thanking God for everything that we have. We're thanking God for all 4 types of people. We're thanking God for our body. We're thanking God for our unity. We're thanking God for our very birthright as Jews. And what we do is we shake it in each of the directions. By thanking God for our success and our health and our happiness and our well-being, in essence, we are realizing and we are expressing our gratitude that we could be nothing without God. As soon as you thank someone, they want to do for you. It's like anything in life. Someone does something for you, you thank them, or you thank them for what they're going to do, they feel like they want to do more. God acts the same way with us. When we thank Him, when we praise Him, when we appreciate the things that He does for us, He wants to do more. So by picking up the 11 etrog and shaking it in each of the directions, just out of thanks and out of appreciation, that's what stops all the bad coming our way. So we shake it in each and every direction. So now I'm going to explain. This is what I thought about a couple of years ago, and I ran it by a couple of different Chachamim, and they really all liked it. Listen to this. Yes, Moshe.
What's in the esrog?
What's in the esrog? Okay. Does anyone know what is in the etrog if we would slice it open?
A lot of peel and seeds, no?
Very good. A lot of peel, much more than a lemon, like 4 or 5 times easily, depending on the etrog. Very little fruit, and very little seeds also. That's what happens if you cut it open. We'll try it after the holiday, okay? Now, if we take, according to the Sephardic custom, which is according to the Arizal, the directions we shake in starts with south, then we go north, east, up, down, west. So sometimes it's always very hard. Which direction do you go to? Okay, look at the Chazan, look at the rabbi. But what's a very easy way to remember?
The beach is east.
Beach is east, very good. Or the Hechal is east, to say better. Okay, so that means fine. So the Hechal start down and then go up and 2 up, down. Listen to this explanation. The east is where the ark is, so that means that's where the Torah is. Okay? Let's move a little right. What's always referred to as right? Chesed, loving kindness. Abraham, Avraham Avinu. Left is always referred to the opposite as Gevurah, Din, judgment, stringency, Isaac. And the Torah, the center, which is the perfect balance, is normally referred to as Jacob. So that's your first 3 over there. Abraham, you go to the right. So that's south of the ark. Isaac to the north, that's to the left. And then center, Yaakov, which is referring to the Torah and the perfect balance. That's right, left, center. You got the first 3 covered. Now you got 3 more. The next one, if we do the order of the Sefirot, is anyone familiar a little bit with the Sefirot? The different attributes of God? Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. We just mentioned those. The next one is Netzach. Netzach, everlasting, which refers to which one of our, I wouldn't say patriarchs, but our great ones. Okay. Moses. Very good. Who said Moses? Very good. Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, we shake upwards. Why do we shake upwards? What did he do for us? Very good. He was the intermediate. He was the messenger between Shamayim and Aretz, between the heaven and the earth, at Mount Sinai. So we shake up 3 times, in commemoration to Moses and his midah, his character trait of Netzach. Where do we go? Yeah?
Even though it was a bad time, because when Moshe went up to Mount Sinai, that's when we were...
Well, that was the first time, but he did it the second time again.
And we weren't worshipping idols. So.
Right.
Okay.
Good question. Next is we go down. The next midah is hod. Hod is beauty, glory, referring to Aharon HaKohen. Close one. Aharon HaKohen, who was the Kohen Gadol, who wore his vestments of glory, who was a very, very special individual. And we do down. But why down? Why down for Aaron?
When the Kohanim go up, don't we not look?
Blessing, yeah, not look, good. Listen to what I thought of. I thought of as follows. Aaron was first of all a very humble individual. One, that's what he said? Very nice. An individual who's not humble can never be brought to greatness. Yes, Moses was known to be humble, but Aaron too was humble. He could not be the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, if he was not humble. But more than that, listen to this Ben Torah, I have a better idea. What was Aaron known for?
Shalom.
For shalom, for promoting peace. What do individuals have to do to make peace? They have to put their heads down, they have to put their egos down, they have to give in, they have to compromise. So we go down for Aaron. Now back, we turn around and we go west. That's referring to the back of the Echal. Who does that refer to? Yesod, which is Yosef. What does that have to do? Yosef and Yesod are all referring to the holiness of the Brit Milah, which is something which is hidden, it's covered. It's the whole idea of modesty, of dignity. That's always from behind. So therefore, we could never forget which order do we need to do it in. It's in the perfect order of our, so to say, patriarchs, as well as their character traits. Abraham, Chesed to the right. Yitzchak to the left, Gvura. Yaakov and the Torah facing the ark. Up to Moses, down for Aaron, and in the back for Yosef. Chamim knew exactly. I can't imagine that this is. Sorry. I can't imagine that this is my chidush because it's too obvious to be a chidush. Someone's there, and the truth is, if we look in the L'Shem Yichud, the Ben Ish Chai has a very long pre-prayer for the shaking of the lulav and etrog. In that pre-prayer, we say to God that we're shaking it in each direction. We're shaking it south, three times back and forth for the midah of chesed, and then north 3 times for the midah of din. And now the order works perfectly based on the situation of the echal and everything else. Basically, to summarize, before we open the floor for any questions, and anyone who has any questions on Sukkot or anything else, like we always do, is in these 4 species, there are many hidden secrets, there are many obligations, there are many things that we are hinting to as individuals and collectively as unity as the Jewish people. And what we do is we pray to God on Sukkot to help us restore the unity amongst all Jews. We know too much how many haters there are. But haters, unfortunately, even amongst Jews. Sfardim disliking Ashkenazim. And Ashkenazim disliking Sfardim. And discrimination. And amongst Jews, how sad is that? It's like one time someone asked me, was Abraham or was Moses Sephardi or Ashkenaz? I told him it was so much before that.
So obviously it was Sephardi.
No, it was so much before that. Sephardim and Ashkenazim was only after and during Spain and Germany.
It was closer to Sephardi.
Had nothing to do.
Wait, what about Mizrahi?
Nothing to do. There was no such thing as separation. And to us, who live in 2017, we make all the difference. Dark skin, light skin. Look at me, I look like an Ashkenaz. But who cares? Who cares? I get to mingle in both crowds. But it doesn't matter. Jews, as Jews, our innate nature is to love one another. No matter how they look, how they talk, how they act, what their background is. That's what the message of Sukkot is. Being all close together in a sukkah and holding all 4 types of species, all types of Jews. Temani Jews, Ashkenaz Jews, Moroccan Jews, Syrian Jews, it doesn't matter. we are all the same. We are all one. We all have the same connection back to our forefathers, back to the Torah, back to Moses, back to Sinai. And we have to, it's one lesson we have to take for ourselves, is to stop making that differentiation. It pains God. As we said, if we picked up 3 out of 4 of these, we wouldn't fulfill our obligation. We need all types. We need Ashkenazim, we need them with their sour and tasteless food, and we need all the Sephardim with all of their attitude and all their anger and all of their happiness as well. We need every